Hello again. Yes, another video. It's not actually been a huge amount of time since I did the last video where I turned back. I've done about 1800 light years, so I only have about 44,000 light years to go. But I found something interesting. Well, a couple of things interesting actually. First of all, I'll show you on the galaxy map. Now you can see the route plotted there, and you can see that it is taking me straight to this nebula, which is right. Well, it's right dead ahead. I mean, obviously it's quite a few thousand light years ahead, but nevertheless it is ahead. That's the system where I've plotted the route to. If it will let me select it, right. And so you can see that is the Blisu AA-A H36 nebula. Now, because I haven't been to a nebula for a while, I'm going to check it out, especially as it's on the way. In fact, let's take a closer look at it. You can see already that there's yet another one that uses the same old fucking witch head nebula template. Nevertheless, it's a nebula I haven't seen or I haven't been to before, and you can also see now, what I was going to show, that there are a considerable number of nebulae in this area. So I have the Teco one there, there's these two over here, I may ignore them because they're out of the way, and there's this one here, the Friagri nebula up there. I think there's another nebula just behind here. This is the I can't even see what fucking one that is. Phlegia AA-A H108. So there's no shortage of nebulae in this region once I reach it. It is 5,734 light years away, so I could get there tomorrow. I doubt it, but I could do. I'll give it a go anyway. It's giving me something to aim for, because it's a damn sight more interesting than the region I left behind when I turned round. So that's where I'm heading. So I've got 37 jumps and to get me, well, just a few, or just 1,000 light years closer to it. Now the other thing I found is this planet, which I will get close enough to scan. Now I suspect this planet is an ammonia world. You can see from the image that it is a rocky world, but you also saw that my distance from it in terms of light seconds was still in the 300s when the scan started. Yep, it is indeed an ammonia world. There's a good reason why the scan started at such a long distance for a rocky world. Because this planet, that's it there, is fucking enormous. 97.8 Earth masses. Now it's probably just as well we can't land on it, because unsurprisingly, a planet that size, gravity is immense, 7.21. So the gravity is greater than well, any planet in the populated zone. It's not the largest gravity I've found of any planet, but it's the largest I have found as far as this trip goes. Look at the surface pressure, 43,915 atmospheres. That's immense. That dwarfs even the surface pressure of Venus. So this planet is huge and also pretty dodgy. If, well, we can't land on it anyway because it has an atmosphere, but if it didn't have an atmosphere and therefore we could land on it, you would have to be fucking careful. One fuck up and even if you were in a Sidewinder you would leave a crater as deep as the Marianas Trench. Notice in the description, terrestrial ammonia world with an active ammonia-based chemistry and carbon ammonia-based life. So this planet supports life despite having a 7.21 gravity and surface pressure of just under 44,000 atmospheres. All I can say is that the life on that planet must be pretty fucking resilient. So anyway, I haven't bothered scanning everything in this system because, well, not everything was worth it, but I thought that planet was worth doing. So, right, I shall be back when I get closer to that nebula and all the other nebulae that will be appearing once I am there. Or if I reach any more milestones, which well, I think there's one that I'm fairly close to reaching. So it's well, after that boring part, which was basically the whole end of the outer, the return trip is already looking like it could be quite interesting, or at least in that region that I'm heading towards. So I've still got just over 5,000 light years to go to reach it, but once I have got there, it looks like there will be quite a lot to see. How many of the nebulae I'll explore, I'm not sure, but that one that's dead ahead, I definitely will be exploring. That will be the 12th nebula I've scanned or searched on this trip. It's either the 12th or the 13th, I'll have to double check.
Fuel scooping complete.
But it's one of those anyway. No, I can't be asked. So, yeah, well, I shall be back then when something happens. Alright. Well, found another water world. I'll do, I guess. Now this next system I'm going to doesn't look like there's going to be much there with this designation Pro Pre BA-B B58-1, but there is actually something quite interesting here. So let's head on over. So, dull and boring Class M Red Dwarf. 8 planets. Looks like they're all going to be shit. Yes, they are. But the reason this system is interesting is this is the 7,000th system I've visited. So if if it wasn't for the fact that I've already turned around and am already making my way back, this would be the point where I would have started doing so now. As it is, I've already done 130 jumps back to populated zone.
Complete.
Well, there you go. So 7,000 systems visited. I'm quite pleased about that. So yeah, there you go, another milestone. so I'll be back, well, when I get closer to that nebula, which is the first of a whole fucking slew of them around there. There must be at least 20 of the fucking things, I think. Plenty of them anyway. So I might find myself exploring a few. Certainly not just that one. I'd be amazed if it turns out that I'll only do the one. But, anyway, that's for the next clip. So, right, 7,000. Well, now 7,001 systems visited. So I'll be back as always when there is something to come back to.
Fuel scooping complete.
Right, well, we are still continuing the trip back. And it's going very slow. Now whenever I do a or have a session on here, what I usually do is 1,000 light years and then say that's it, that will do for that session. And the first day when I turned back, I managed to get 2 such sessions under my belt. I was thinking, okay, that will do. And ever since then, I plot the next 1,000 light years, which is usually 38 jumps, and I get 10 jumps into it and I just think, I can't be fucking arsed, it's too boring and I just don't bother. So for about the last 3 days I've managed to do maybe 40 jumps. In fact, I don't think it's even that much. Let's have a look. No, it's not that much. Systems visit is up to 7,033 and that's it. And that's about 3 days progress from the last clip when I passed 7,000. So yeah, I'm not doing too oh fuck, hang on. Shut that fucking bollocks up. Hopefully that won't have come out on the video. Someone is standing by the bus stop and they've got some shitty music playing out of their phone. It is one of my most hated songs of all time. Maybe someone could actually answer the question regarding that song. Does anybody know what Orpah is? Now I can only assume it's spelled O-R-P-A-H. Orpah. It's the band is Creed, who I vehemently detest. They were one of those, I say were for all I know, they still are, one of those bands whose singer tries to do, well he doesn't try, he does do that fucking awful singing style. I think it was Alice in Chains were the first band to do that particular style. I've always fucking hated it, but I could forgive Alice in Chains because they were the first one, so it was unique to them. But then along came, you know, cunts like Creed and then Black Label Society, and they all copied it, and they all sounded as cuntish as the original version did. If not worse, because there was no hiding the fact that they were just copying them. But anyway, Creed did this song, and throughout it he constantly makes reference to Orpah. Now I can only assume it's something to do with the human anatomy, because it's always ends the line with arms wide Orpah. That's what he sings all the way through it. I have no idea what Orpah is. Now before anyone writes in, yes I am well aware of what the song's actually called, and therefore what he's supposed to be saying, but he doesn't. So I can only assume that he's maybe decided to improvise a little bit, and is instead referring to somebody with arms wide Orpah. Maybe it's
3, 2, 1, engage.
yeah, that's it. Maybe it's he knows some woman who used to be extremely fat, but she's lost a hell of a load of weight, and as a result of that, she has those, you know, those really like huge flaps that form here, look almost like fucking wings. Maybe that's what Orpah is, and because she used to be so fat, her Orpah is extremely like wide, really hangs down, you know, maybe it hangs down to her fucking waist or something. So that's with arms wide Orpah. There you go. That's the only explanation I can offer. It must be the right one. I mean, what other logical explanation could there possibly be?
Fuel scooping.
Anyway, I seem to have gone off on a little bit of a tangent here. I'm not seeing anything worth scanning in a lot of these systems, but occasionally some that come along, you know, I scanned one yesterday that had 2 water worlds, both of which could be terraformed, plus an Earth-like, plus at least two other high metal content planets that could be terraformed. So that system should be quite valuable. Anyway, if we get far enough away from this central star here, you'll see that the reason I'm approaching, I'm still quite a hefty way away from it, but it does have quite a lot in it in terms of nebulae. There's one there, that's the one that I've basically been aiming for quite a while. But then there's this one here, which I think might actually be in front of this one. Then there are 2 more. There's this small one here, there's this one here. Obviously they're only small at the moment because I'm so far away. There's another one here, and there is a 6th one appearing. I think it's somewhere down here somewhere. So there are no shortage of nebulae that I am approaching. If we take a look at the galaxy map, there they are. So this Blisu AA-A-H36, I'm definitely going to check this one out. This one is Friagri AA-A-H34. That one I probably will check out as well. And there are these 2 here, which are a bit far away at the moment. There's another 2 which they're doing the same disappearing act that the Horsehead Nebula sometimes does. It looks like they're not going to show up at the moment, but they suddenly mysteriously appear. There it is. Right, so there's one, and then there's another one there up here. So that one is the Venue AA-A-H17. This one I can't see because hang on, let's get rid of those ship markers. It's the Shoei Bio AA-A-H167, I think that is, or is it 187? So there's plenty of them that I'm approaching, and it doesn't end there. There are actually a fucking load of them around here. So you've got all of these are the ones I can already see, and then you carry on going, there's all of these. So there are a fucking, well, a hell of a lot of them coming up. Now, will I visit them all? No, of course I fucking won't. But I will visit some of them, no doubt about it. But I've had a look at some close up. I think I've looked at over half of them, and surprise, surprise, they're all using the same old templates we've seen a million times before. So although I'll check some of them out, it will literally be a case of I'll just fly through them, you know, scan a couple of systems within them while I'm flying through them, and that's it. Because there is nothing new to see. Obviously I'll do videos of them just to say, oh look, okay, this is another nebula, bloody fucking blah, and I've been here, whoop you fucking do. That will probably be about it. Looks like there might actually be a planet worth scanning here. Alright, while that's scanning, let's have a look what else is here.
Fuel scooping complete.
Alright, well that gas giant won't take long to reach, so I'll scan that one as well. That place is not one for terraforming, so the value isn't going to be enormous. I'll scan that one and then we'll go on to the next one. So anyway, yeah, at the moment I'm in a fucking boring part of space still, but I do have quite a few nebulae that I am approaching. I'm still thousands of light years away from them. I'm about 4,000, maybe a bit less. I could look at the galaxy map and check for sure, but I can't be asked. So yeah, I'll be back once I reach the first of those, whichever one it is, unless something else interesting happens beforehand, but yeah, I wouldn't hold my breath waiting for that. So yeah, back whenever.